6:31 this morning. In a year marked by violence in Kansas City, this morning we're getting a new perspective on drug cases.
The Jackson County Prosecutor's Office is sharing new data on drug cases, specifically in Kansas City, Missouri. So this morning, 41 Action News anchor Dia Wall joining us this morning live to tell us why and what she learned after looking into these numbers. Dia, we're really excited to hear about what you were sharing with us this morning. This is interesting information and really important information for the entire city. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Taylor and Lindsay. Definitely some information that we should all know a little bit about, especially in the year that we're dealing with. So let's lay a little bit of the groundwork. The Jackson County Prosecutor's Office wanted to shift some resources to violence in the city this year. And so they started looking at some of the data. Interestingly enough, at the same time, its Community Advisory Board wanted them to look at drug cases. Here's a little bit of what they found.
2020 has been marked by violence, with a criminal justice system fighting to keep up.
Knowing we have limited resources, what should we be doing? And then on top of that, I layered in equity.
Some of the findings may surprise you, like just how expensive drug cases are. The Jackson County Prosecutor's Office used a study that, adjusted for inflation, estimates each case costs over $140,000. That's factoring in police officers, jail, court, and possible treatment. KCPD refers around 1,400 drug cases a year at a price tag of...
We got around $200 million, which is a pretty staggering amount of money to process drug cases where, as Prosecutor Baker will say, frankly, we don't seemingly get very good outcomes.
The old dividing line in Kansas City shows up starkly when it comes to drug enforcement.
What we know about drugs is that they're used by all racial demographics in about the same amount. You can buy drugs probably in any part of the city that you want it to go find them. But this appears to us that, just geography-wise, they're looking, those buy-bus operations are all east of Troost and south of Independence Avenue.
Who lives there?
Those would represent minority communities.
Collectively, there are bright spots in the data. KCPD and the prosecutor's office have made dramatic improvements in the time from investigation to filing, thanks in part to a policy change to test for drugs more quickly.
Streamlining that process allowed us to charge referred cases a lot faster. It's really important to talk about the time frame, and this is something that we really wanted to improve and work on in our office moving forward with drug cases, because a large proportion of our drug defendants go into drug court or drug treatment. And it's really important that they get to treatment as quickly as possible, because based on our research, we've seen that if someone's going into drug treatment, the faster they can go into drug treatment after their arrest, that's correlated with better drug treatment outcomes.
County Prosecutor Jean Peters Baker called the examination a gut check.
I have to look at the data that my office generated. And I had to issue an apology to community. Let's think about our history and how we landed here, and let's act as those kind of players in the system. Let's just be thoughtful prosecutors. Let's be thoughtful.
It was really a great look kind of at where the resources in the city are going, particularly when it comes to enforcement, and pretty surprising that Kansas City Police refer about 1,400 drug cases to the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office in a normal year.
Yeah, some of those numbers really surprising there. What's the response like from the police? We're hearing from the prosecutors, obviously, and hearing about the numbers the police are sending to that office. What does the Kansas City Police Department have to say about these numbers?
So, Taylor, the Kansas City Police Department, specifically the Narcotics and the Vice Division, they got a look at some of this data a couple of weeks ago. So they're taking their time to kind of comb through it, really interact with it, because they know these cases better than anyone else, right? We also don't know what the enforcement strategy is, how they're targeting potential suspects. So we do hope to get some more information from police in the coming weeks on that.
Dia, we know there's a lot to unpack here, could have a big impact, and we're going to expect a lot more throughout the day on this, right?
Yes, we are actually going to the heart of the city at 45th and Troost. I paid a visit to the Wayne D. White Recovery Center, and this is in the heart of the community, the part of our city that has the greatest number of these drug cases. And we're talking to the clinical director about what recovery looks like, because I think that's the next step that the prosecutor's office and some of the stakeholders and folks in the community really want to talk about. I think that we have a different perception of what drug use looks like and wanting to bring more humanity to that. So we're going to dive into that a little bit later tonight. Really hope you join us. And if you're a nerd like me and you want to dig into some of the data and the numbers, our digital team has been working like gangbusters. They have created a fantastic digital story where you can go in, see some wonderful visuals of some of the numbers and the information and maps, and it'll really help you get a clearer picture of what's happening in the city. So we hope to see you tonight.
That's available on our website now, or it's going to be on later tonight, Dia?
Right now.
Right now.
Right now, Taylor. I am up early, dark and early. And so you can log on to KCPD.com. Yeah, or check out our free app. It's all there for you. And again, our goal is just to make sure that people in our community are aware of what's happening so we can all be part of the solution.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really impactful reporting from Dia Wall this morning. Dia, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back.
Thanks for letting me hang out.